Welcome to our channel. Today we are deep diving into a powerful principle that can supercharge your AI projects. That is 80-20 rule, also known as Pareto principle. Especially we'll explore how it applies to data and models in AI. Okay, so let's get started. The 80-20 rule suggests that 80% of the outcomes come from 20% of your efforts. Okay, so in AI the principle is incredibly relevant both in terms of data management and model management. Here is the how. So first let's talk about the data. Okay, so in AI not all data is created equally. Okay, the 80-20 rule implies 80% of your model performance often comes from 20% of your data. This means identifying and focusing on high quality relevant data can significantly enhance your model accuracy and efficiency. Instead of spending less hours in cleansing and processing of all your data, prioritize 20% of data that truly matters. This target approach can save time and resources while boosting your results. Now let's apply 80-20 rule to the model development. Often 80% of your model's performance improvements come from 20% of your adjustments and refinements you make. This means focusing on key parameters, tuning them can yield substantial benefits. Right? Now, instead of getting lost into the various possible tweaks, identify the most impactful parameters. By concentrating on these critical adjustments, you can optimize your model efficiency. Right? So, how does this work in the real world? Let's take some examples. Companies like Google, Amazon leverage 80-20 rule in their AI projects. Okay, so they focus on the most valuable and fine-tune key model parameters. They achieve top-notch performance with efficient use of resources. Here are some examples or the tips for applying 80% in your AI projects. Okay, so first thing is like you need to identify key data. Okay, so teams should identify key data and focus on 20% of that data that is most relevant and of high quality. Okay, so there can be tools, there can be some good practices to do these efforts, right? And second thing is prioritize the parameter. So the team should concentrate on the most impactful model parameters for the tuning. This can be called as the hyperparameters as well, right? Which all hyperparameters you configure, like the temperature and other things as well, onto the tweaking and redefining and fine tuning the parameters, right? Or hyperparameters. So these are the fine tuning of the parameter models, right? Then is the iterative testing. So it should be in an iterative way, like you should keep on doing the iterations testing around to quickly identify what works best for you. So there can be an automation in place, there can be monitoring tools in place which can make sure like whatever you are testing, okay, it is giving you the results quickly and it tells you which model is best for you or which workflow or which parameters which you have defined that are best for you. Okay, then comes the resource allocation. So in the resource allocation, mainly the teams should allocate resources wisely. Okay, they need to think thoroughly, they should think 360 degree, they should focus on high impacting areas. The areas which does not yield much results, teams should not spend much time over there. Okay, and they should focus on the high quality resources. Okay, so that they can yield good results. Okay, so this comes under to the strategy piece of the into the strategic planning. Okay, now let's take a deeper dive into the data management. So when working with the large data sets, it is essential to identify which data points contribute the most to your model accuracy. Use techniques like exploratory data analysis, which is called as the EDA, to uncover the insights, determine the most valuable data. Right now we should understand about like how EDA involves visualizing the data platforms, identifying the outliers, and understanding the relation between the variables, right? Tools like Python Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn can be incredibly helpful in this process. Okay, now let's explore the advanced model development techniques. The hyperparameter tuning is also a crucial steps. Remember, we discussed about like the prioritizing the right parameters. So hyperparameter tuning is one of the crucial steps in refining your model. Okay, so techniques like grid search, random search, right? These can optimize and also help the optimal parameters that can maximize your model performance. Okay, instead of blindly adjusting the parameters, use a systematic approach to efficiently explore hyperparameter space. This ensures you focus on the adjustments that have the most significant impact on your model performance, right? Now, integrating this 80-20 rule into your AI workflow force or AI workflows involves continuous monitoring and the iterations, right? Implement automated pipelines for data processing, model training, and validation tools like Apache Airflow or MLflow that can streamline these processes. Okay, so automated workflows ensures that you consistently apply 80-20 rule, making your AI development more efficient, scalable, right? Regularly reviewing and update your pipelines to incorporate new data and model improvements, right? Now, while 80-20 rule is powerful, it is not without challenges. One common issue is identifying the critical 20% of data or model parameters. Use your domain knowledge and the data science techniques to guide your decisions. Okay. Another challenge is balancing short-term gains with the long-term strategies. So remember, we talked about the strategic thing like resource allocation thing. So there comes the strategy thing, right? So you need to make sure like how you can balance between the short-term gains and the long-term gains. Okay, so ensure that you focus on 20% does not lead to neglecting the broader context of your AI project. Maintain a holistic view while prioritizing the high areas, right? So again, this comes into the strategic planning and other things you need to discuss with various stakeholders, with the leadership team, and you need to align them with like what are the benefits with going with the certain approach. Okay, how it can impact the business users, how it can impact the technical users. Okay, so this is something into the strategic way of thinking, right? Now looking ahead, the application of 80-20 rule in AI is likely to evolve with advancements in the technology. Keep an eye on emerging trends like automated machine learning, which is AutoML, and AI-driven data creation tools that can further streamline the identification of the critical data and the model parameters, right? AutoML tools, for example, can automate the process of selecting algorithms, tuning the hyperparameters, and pre-processing of the data. This allows data scientists to focus on the higher level strategic decision and innovation than going into small things. Okay, so this gives them a very clear insights about like what needs to be selected, what needs to be configured in order to make sure like your data and your model are up to mark, which comes into 20% of bracket. Okay, now let's deep dive into some more real world examples. Okay, so take Google for instance. They use 80-20 rule to optimize their search algorithm by focusing on 20% of their data that provides most relevant search results. They ensure fast and more accurate searches. So if you have seen in Google, so see if you are anytime you search something, so how accurate their results are, how good their search results are. Okay, so how it happens, they mostly focus on like their 20% of their data. They make that data more curated, more cleaned, more processed, so that their models are also get trained with good data. Okay, so the key is like the data you have, the better the model performance is. So model performance can decline anytime. Okay, as far as you have a good data to train the model will keep on performing good. Okay, there should be a tracking mechanism which should track the performance of model. Based on that, it should take a call whether like the data needs to be, the model needs to be retrained, or the features needs to be extracted, or the raw data needs to be, ingested. Okay, so this comes under the MLOps kind of scenarios, but I just wanted to let you know. Okay, so the second example is the Amazon recommendation system example, right? So Amazon uses similar approach for their recommendation system. By analyzing the 20% of your customer data that most influences buying behavior, they tailor the recommendation that drives 80% of their sale. Okay. Then is the personalized healthcare. So in the healthcare industry, personalized treatment plans benefits from 80-20 rule. They focus on most critical patient data. Healthcare providers can develop effective treatments that can significantly improve patient outcomes. Okay, so the healthcare is also one of the sectors where like the companies leverage the capability of 80-20 rule. Okay, that can help them grow their business and also eventually help the patients, right? Then comes the in the educational sector, educational AI applications. So, educational platforms also leverage 80-20 rule. For instance, by identifying 20% of educational content that most effectively improve student learning, platforms can optimize resources and maximize the educational outcomes. Okay, so there also it requires some similar kind of approach, similar kind of principle or the thumb rule for 80-20 AI rule, right? Now regular audits and inclusive data practices are very essential for this. Okay, so we need to ensure that critical 20% is representative and unbiased. Okay, promoting fairness and equity in your AI solutions, right? So now by applying the 80-20 rule, you can make your AI projects more efficient, more effective, focus on the critical few and watch your AI applications to excel, right? If you found this video helpful, do not forget to like, subscribe and hit bell icon for more AI insights. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks in world of AI. Until next time, keep innovating. Thank you.